The ultimate bad guy in the Bible is hidden in the movie Leave the World Behind. Who is the Antichrist? Well, it says here in 1 John that there are many, but in the end there's one, working through a person, along with his demonic horde. But he is definitely a deceiver, which means you don't see him come and you don't recognize him. In my last video, I showed how the thing that has been mandated over the last 3 years is in the movie. So let's talk more about G.H. Scott. G.H. Scott is a person in real life. It's also an award given in the field of toxicology. What is toxicology? It's the branch of science concerned with the nature, effects, and detection of poisons. Please go watch the first video for more on this. So let's think about the occultic realm for a minute. They don't force their way in. They need to be invited in, usually through your choices. So when he shows up at the house, he says that they were trying to figure out which door to come in, the front door or the side door. In Christianity, this is called the eye gate or the ear gate, the way that we allow things in. Once they invite him in, that's when they notice that it gets cold and windy outside. Before he fell, Satan was believed to be the angel of music in the Bible, based on Ezekiel. G.H. Scott is on the board of the Philharmonic. Later in the movie, they show his massive music collection, and it's pretty easy to see the impact of music on our culture. He shows up in the middle of the night when they're drunk, not just having a glass of wine, but they call out that they're drunk, or she's drunk. Here it says they live on the 14th floor, and he can't walk up 14 flights because of his knee. And that is Satan's goal, to climb to the heights of God. And here in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 14, it says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Coincidence? G.H. and his daughter decide to stay down in the basement with a red hue and a red carpet. Here he notes that they need to think everything is going to be okay. And that is his role in the movie. He consistently tries to get them to delay doing anything, to wait until they know more. Notice here he mentions the love bug virus or worm that happened several years ago, which he says turned out to be nothing. So the love bug virus downloads a Trojan by the name of Barack. So speaking of him, you know he and his wife, Barack, produced this movie. And he has something in common with G.H. She's asking G.H. if he has his ID, but he doesn't. He lost his wallet. That's similar to what they said about Barack. Of course, it was a conspiracy theory, but that his birth certificate was a forgery, it was said. So there were rumors when he was president that he might be this guy, but then he wasn't president anymore. But there again are rumors that he's pulling the strings behind our current president. So what did he have to do with this whole process that I made the first video about? He definitely has been part of the process. So there's a scene where they make it look like Amanda and G.H. are about to commit adultery. They're in the room with his extensive music collection, dancing, and at the same time, G.H.'s daughter and Amanda's husband are together by the pool, and they're making it look like there's something about to happen there too. So the swapping of partners, so to speak. At the end of this, 6 flamingos land in the pool, and they make a point of it. Flamingos can mean partner swapping. So G.H. is really the only one who seems to have any idea what's going on in the movie or what the possibilities could be. He saw it coming. And in the end, he describes something that sounds very similar to what's been going on over the last 3 years. And if it's going on everywhere, we should be concerned. So here's his layout. All the signs were there. He mentions it would make more sense if we were on the brink of an all-out invasion, which is interesting given what's going on at the border right now. But he lays out the process that an enemy can use to topple your country. First stage, isolation. Cut off the communication and transportation. Think of the last 3 years. Next is synchronized chaos. Think of the last 3 years. All of the violence. Terrorize them with covert attacks and misinformation, though what was really the misinformation. overwhelm their defense capability. Interestingly, that's exactly what scientists and doctors are saying is happening to people's bodies that can't fight off the virus anymore, leaving their weapon systems vulnerable to extremists in their own military. Without a clear enemy or motive, people would begin turning on each other. And if done successfully, the third stage would happen on its own: chaos or collapse. Other people have already done the videos on all of the satanic symbolism in this movie. When you combine that and this and who produced it and the things I mentioned in my other videos and what's going on in the world right now, it's time to have your come to Jesus moment. So if we're going to talk about the Antichrist, we have to talk about 2 Thessalonians 2, chapter 2. I'm just going to say the temple is not a temple in Jerusalem. The temple is our body, and the Bible is clear about that. Go look and see what Jesus says about the temple. So if the temple is our body, think again about the last 3 years. So believe it or not, God is also in this movie, and I believe it's because he has dominion over all things. I think you'll be surprised at where he shows up.